Games highlights and insights on air and online.
HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy has marched its way to Mobile, Alabama. It's a once-a-year Gulf Coast Classic. Alabama State, a very fired-up Jackson State squad. We're live next. Football is back in a major way in the Gulf Coast after a tumultuous year due to Hurricane Katrina. The recovery continues in an array of different ways. One of the positive moves has been to continue the Gulf Coast Classic as each and every year Alabama State welcomes a SWAC opponent. This year's opponent is Jackson State. Well, once again, everybody, welcome to HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy alongside my tag team partner every time, Chris Ricks. I am Jonathan Coachman, and Chris, let's start with Jackson State, a team that 1 year ago in complete disarray, 8 wins over the last 3 years. This year, though, a completely different story.
Yes, JC, and you really have to give credit to Coach Rick Comagee for really turning this program around. In his first season, he's really got these players, really got this program believing in what him and his staff is trying to do here at Jackson State.
Well, when you talk about players, the best way to turn a program around, get good transfers and get good players. Jackson State comes in 3-1, unbeaten in SWAC play. Let's talk with the man at the helm, Jimmy Oliver.
Yes, you got to look at the quarterback. Jimmy Oliver, transfer from Pearl River Community College, was a star there, comes in now to Jackson State, really leads this offense. Very talented quarterback, but he's also got a very talented running back, so an explosive offense here at Jackson State.
Yeah, certainly very even when you talk about through the air and on the ground. What about Eric Haw?
Well, Eric Haw is a very big, explosive, powerful running back. He has 8 touchdowns on the year, 7 on the ground, 1 receiving, so look for him to make a lot of big plays and really be there for his quarterback to dump the ball off and also make big runs.
Yeah, when you talk about Alabama State, their starting quarterback, Mr. Ingram, well, he can't go tonight, so they're going to have to rely on the ground game and Jay Peck.
Well, definitely, with Chichipio Woods coming in, filling in for Ingram. He's only a redshirt freshman quarterback, so definitely look for him to look at his running back, Jay Peck. He's got 300 straight yard games rushing the ball. He's averaging nearly 100 yards every game with a 99.8 yard average, so he's a very talented back. He's really what makes this offense go, JC.
Well, we are just about set to go, and one thing about HBCU football, we're always going to have a good time. Can the defenses live up to the billing? It's Jackson State, Alabama State, Gulf Coast Classic. Kickoff is next. HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy, Alabama State, and Jackson State is being brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Navy, accelerate your life. And by Aflac. Aflac, ask about it at work. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Starter, real college sports gear for real college sports fans. Believe in it, baby! There you see a beautiful shot of the moon, and it's a beautiful night for football. We're just about set for the kickoff of the 34th Gulf Coast Classic, Jackson State and Alabama State. And there you see a shot of the head man from Jackson State, his first year here at Jackson State, Rick Comagee, 3-1, a completely different turnaround from a year ago. His career record 111-52. He spent many years at Tuskegee, so he's used to being here for the Turkey Day Classic. And there's a head man at Alabama State. He's had a fine career as well. Charles Coe, a 1973 graduate of Kansas. So we're just about set to go alongside Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is the nightcap, HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy. Alabama State has won the toss. They have elected to defer until the second half. So Jackson State will receive. They're in their white uniforms, purple or blue pants, depending on how you look at it. And Alabama State in their black and gold uniforms with their gold helmets. So Chris Ricks, your thoughts as we get set for kickoff?
Well, first of all, JC, it's a beautiful night here for football in Mobile. This is what college football is all about, so I'm excited.
Back to receive the kick for Jackson State, number 82, Kenneth Davis, and also number 11, L.D. Briscoe. And kicking off for Alabama State will be Anthony Johnson, a 5'10", 155-pound senior from Bay Minette, Alabama. And when you talk about a picture-perfect night for football, this is exactly what you envision for the Gulf Coast Classic, and certainly the attitudes and the way things are presented now in the Gulf Coast certainly different than 1 year ago.
Well, yes, JC, and like I just said, it's a beautiful night for football. Is there an echo in here?
No, there isn't. I just want to leave you hanging here early on because that's what we do. Here we go. And an end-over-end wobbly kick down to the 5, taken by Davis. He cuts it back to the left side, up to the 10, and he's going to be swarmed under. Back inside the 10 at the 9, and so a very enthusiastic opening for Alabama State, and Jackson State will start their first drive inside of their own 10.
Kickoff taken by Jameer Johnson.
Jackson State, the head man, Jimmy Oliver. We talked about him off the open. He's a very athletic quarterback.
Yes, we talked about him, the junior college transfer coming in. You know, it's kind of tough when you have a new player come in and guys got to get used to him, but he's a leader and he's performed well this season. And when you perform well, it's much easier for your teammates to get used to you.
We'll take a look at the starting lineups right after this play and get you all set for the entire night. Remember, with the new rules in college football, the clock starts on every change of possession. 4 wide receivers. Oliver back to pass. He looks over the middle. He's got a man over there. This one's tipped, and it falls incomplete, nearly intercepted on the first play of the game. And now let's take a look at today's starters presented by Starter. There you see the offensive line, a very quick, not overly big offensive line, but very, very quick. And the skill players, the backs and receivers, Eric Haw, obviously with 8 touchdowns already this year, will be the man that they look to the entire night.
Also keep your eye on Frost, number 8, the transfer from Ohio State. Look for him to make a lot of big plays at the tight end position.
Now Oliver under center. 4 wide receivers one more time. A single step back on 2nd down and 10 from just inside of their own 10. Oliver back to pass once again. He gets flushed out of the pocket. He's got some room along the right side. He decides to tuck it. And oh, what a nice play as the open ground that originally he had closed in a very, very quick hurry. Well, now the starters presented by Starter on the defensive side for Alabama State. And the front 4, they are very quick as hell. Not big, but they are fast.
Very physical up front. You notice they're not the biggest guys, but they do have a lot of speed.
There you see the linebackers, Figures, Jones, and Duplay. And there you see the secondary and Co. If the last name looks similar, it is. He's the coach's son, a transfer from Arkansas. And we'll talk more about that relationship between father and son as the night goes along. But 3rd down and a long 9. Oliver back to pass for the 3rd time in this series. He gets flushed out again. Flags all over the place. The pass is completed, pushed out of bounds just prior to the 1st down marker. But we'll see what the penalty markers was. There's one in the backfield and also one downfield as well.
Yeah, and we see Oliver trying to get out of the pocket. A lot of pressure from that Alabama State defensive lineman. He's having to move up, avoided a tackle on the previous play, probably avoided a safety, and here dubbing off to his running back. So Oliver, very agile, very mobile. Look for him to move around in that pocket a lot and avoid that rush.
So offsetting holding penalties, so that play will not count, and in all likelihood we will replay 3rd down. And if you haven't watched any of the games that Chris Ricks and I have done this year, wherever we go, so goes the slow officiating. So hopefully tonight will be.
We have holding on the offense, number 78. We have holding on the defense, number 24. Those penalties offset. Replay, 3rd down.
As I was saying, hopefully tonight will be a change of that. But we have almost broken a few records throughout the year so far in 2006 with length of games, even with the new rule.
Don't count it on, JC. We'll be here probably to at least 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Hey, but this is what we love to do.
Yes,
There's
sir.
no place we would rather be than right here in Mobile, Alabama for the Gulf Coast Classic. So we'll replay 3rd down and 9 from the 10 after Jackson State was stopped on a bad kickoff return to begin this game. The initial drive for Jackson State. In the shotgun, Oliver back to pass. He's got good protection. He's got a man wide open over the middle, completed up near the 30-yard line. So a big 3rd down completion to number 18, Chris McWilliams. Chris Johnson, the junior, and that'll be plenty for the first down.
Nice job by Oliver here. Again, stepping up in the pocket, waiting for Johnson to come in on that dig route or that square and over the middle. Wide open, keeps it low. You don't want to throw it high or late over the middle. Controls his receiver. Nice pickup for the Tiger offense.
Chris Johnson, the 6'3", 210-pound junior from Jackson, Mississippi. And now after a lengthy discussion, there was a legal procedure on the play, so that first down play will be brought back. And so Jackson State initially was out of the hole. Now we're going to back it up well back to the 5-yard line.
And that's something that really frustrates a ball club, a coaching staff. When you have a big play, you have a big gain, and then it's negated by a penalty. You have to bring it back. It makes that all your work is really done for nothing. So Jackson State really have to come back with a big play now and get back those yards that they just lost.
And there you see Coach Comegy initially disgusted with the way that this game has started off for his Jackson State offense. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 15. They need to get just past the 19 to continue this drive. Alabama State has everybody at the line of scrimmage. They bring everybody. Now floating down the right-hand side and just a little bit too far, and the pressure came straight up the middle. And so Alabama State holds and should get very good field position after this punt opportunity.
Nice job by Oliver to get rid of the ball. We saw the house blitz coming up the middle there. Really just tried to give his receiver, Jamar Johnson, a one-on-one. Got to give him a chance, though. Got to keep that ball in bounds. By throwing it out of bounds, you don't even give your receiver a chance to catch that football. But nonetheless, good job negating the blitz, not taking a sack, resulting in a safety.
Brett Bennett back to punt for Jackson State. Michael Coe, the coach's son, back to receive the punt. A high snap and just does get it away. A nice end-over-end kick. Hits about the 33 and picked up by Coe on the run, and a nice play. Not a high percentage play, but it paid off for Alabama State that time. He takes it inside the 25, so Alabama State will have excellent field position for their first possession. We are scoreless. Just getting started in Mobile. And we are back live in Mobile, Alabama. Jackson State just punted it away, so Alabama State will get their first possession, and led by the backup quarterback, now pushed into starting duty, Chepio Woods. And we're going to call him T. Woods tonight. Alex Ingram is out with a rotator cuff injury, so T. Woods is pressed into action. Chris?
Yes, and when you have a new quarterback replacing Alex Ingram, who was day-to-day talking to Coach Coe this week, said he had a shoulder injury, didn't know if he was going to be able to go. We talked to him midweek, said he was day-to-day, but when you deal with a new quarterback, kind of throws a timing off. So look for this Hornet offense to start off protecting their young quarterback, redshirt freshman. Let him get his feet wet before they really get things going.
After an excellent punt return by Michael Coe, they will take over 1st down and 10 at Jackson State 20. Nice inside run inside the 15, down to about the 12. Let's take a look at today's starters presented by Starter. And we already talked about the man that's going to be running behind this big offensive line.
A lot of size up front, a lot of physical linemen, so look for them to open a lot of holes for Jay Peck, and they've got to protect Chepio Woods.
And also Mr. Lynch will open a lot of holes as well from that fullback position. We'll take a look at the defensive starters in just a moment, but 2nd down and 3 from the 13 for Alabama State. There you see Jay Peck in the backfield for Alabama State. He'll get the 2nd carry of the game. This time tripped up front, maybe a yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 for Alabama State. Let's take a look at the defensive starters. And Jackson State this year has added a lot of speed, and really that has made a complete difference from 1 year ago.
And that's really the difference in any defense, speed. Yep. Yes, size is good, but when you have a fast defense, you can shut down running games and obviously shut down the passing game as well.
Heath Camp, a junior college transfer. You can look for him in the defensive backfield as well. So now 3rd down and 3 for Alabama State at Jackson State's 13. Woods back to pass. He's got a man over there, and now it looked like it was nearly intercepted, and the ball does come out incomplete. Nearly intercepted, nearly completed, but at the end of the day, it was an incomplete pass. So an interesting decision, and the field goal team will come on to attempt the field goal.
And here's where you see placement of a pass to Chepio Woods, a little behind his receiver, Brandon Horace, right there. If he gets it one more foot out in front, he's able to catch and probably roll up the sideline. A step behind almost results in an interception, but nonetheless an incomplete pass. So placement so important for a quarterback to a receiver.
Anthony Johnson on to attempt a 30-yard field goal. snap is a little bit behind. The hold is down, and the kick is good. So Alabama State uses the good field position to get on the board first. A 30-yard field goal. Alabama State leads it by 3. We are back. HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy. Chris Ricks, Jonathan Coachman. 11:03 remaining here in the first quarter, and Alabama State has jumped on the board first. A 30-yard field goal by Anthony Johnson. And the scoring drive for the Hornets, 4 plays, only 7 yards, taking up 1 minute and 37 seconds. Obviously set up by the great field position after that poor punt.
Yes, JC, and like we said, to Chepio Woods, you start him off running the ball, hand it off a couple of times, get him comfortable really to this atmosphere, being that he's not very familiar with it. Then you throw the ball. Again, the placement, very crucial to his receiver there. As he starts to settle down and really get comfortable with this atmosphere and really this environment, look for him to be more accurate in the passing game.
Number 83, Jamar Johnson, and number 5, Keith Camp, back to receive the kick. It comes to Johnson. He cuts straight up the middle, and he will be wrestled down at about the 19-yard line. So obviously after the first kickoff return, maybe he got a little talking to on the sideline to run straight up the field and not laterally.
Definitely, and that's what you like to see in a special teams, whether it's returning. We see some guys fighting on the field actually right now. See some of the tempers flaring. It's a very emotional game. This is starting to become a big rivalry, but getting back to the return, special teams coaches don't like when a returner dances. They like him to hit the hole, find that crease, and explode and get vertical, not to go laterally. And
you can see one of the highlights always, especially in an HBCU game, is the bands, and you'll be able to see both bands coming up at halftime. Church's Fried Chicken Battle of the Bands.
Drumline.
There you see Jimmy Oliver coming on for his second opportunity for Jackson State. First time they backed up a couple of yards, but they started inside of their 10, so a little bit better field position for their second drive. He hands off to the second back through, a little bit of a hole up past the 23, maybe to the 24. Hands it off to Eric Haw, the sophomore from Columbus.
Nice job by Haw here. See him shift right there. He doesn't just hit the hole. He reads his block, waits for the defense to pursue, and then makes a nice cutback. That's why he's a very talented, even though he's young, only a sophomore, very talented, very explosive running back.
And the handoff again to Haw, but nowhere for him to go, smothered in the backfield. May have lost 2, maybe even 3 yards. And right now, Alabama State has been absolutely swarming to the football here early on in the first quarter.
Again, we talk about speed, and especially early in the game, a defense really wants to try to set that tone, get that momentum, and really get the energy going for their whole football team, and that can really be set by a defense swarming to the ball, flowing around. We see some talk down there, a lot of guys talking trash to each other, just trying to let out those emotions, but obviously you want to do it in your play. Look for them to try to control that and not see a lot of personal fouls this evening.
So 3rd down and 8. For the Tigers, nobody in the backfield with Oliver, and maybe a little bit of a false start, and there indeed the flags come flying in from the side judges, and the right side of the Jackson State offensive line moved way too early.
See the pressure again from that Alabama State defense. They are blitzing up the middle, on the outside. They're bringing everyone, trying to force Jimmy Oliver to make a bad decision.
Offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty. Good down.
See the blitz in here up the middle and on the edges. Oliver just trying to get rid of it. Unfortunately, his offensive line a little excited trying to block those guys because they can feel that blitz coming as well, and they started to play a little bit too early.
And it looks like, at least early on here, Chris, that Alabama State's game plan is to rush everybody and quicken up the game, quicken up the pace for Jimmy Oliver.
Yes, and the defense is going to feed off that. The offense also going to feed off that energy. But, yes, trying to force the quarterback, young quarterback, into a bad decision.
So we back it up 5. There you see the 3rd down numbers for the year, and more flags.
More laundry on the field, JC.
Well, what did I say off the top of the show? Wherever we go, the flags come with us.
Don't speak that over us, JC.
We'll see which way they call it this time.
Offside on the defense, number 96, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Well, after all is said and done, we back it up 5, move it back 5. We're right back where we started. 3rd down and 8, as I said about 5 minutes ago. 3rd down and 8 for the Tigers from their own 21-yard line. Early on here in the first quarter, approaching 9 minutes as the clock runs. Jimmy Oliver barking out signals. He's got 4 wide receivers and 1 single back in the backfield. Oliver, a nice pocket surrounding him. He's got a man wide open to the outside. Nice juke move up past the 35 to the 40. And a nice athletic move on the outside. And that was completed to number 4, Carlos Simpson. And after that nice move, a 1st down, and now Jackson State has some breathing room.
Very nice job by Oliver, taking what the defense gives him. He has a square in here on the backside. See it coming to your picture, but it's a little shady in there. He takes the out right out in the flat there to his receiver Simpson. And Simpson, giving your ball to an athlete, makes a nice play, makes a move, and picks up the 1st down.
You'll be the first one to say that any quarterback who likes to have big numbers, that's a play. Said, hey, that's a nice 15, 18-yard reception. There's a 3-yard toss. And now a little trickeration. And the quarterback, Oliver, keeps it up to the 50 and a nice 8-yard run on 1st down.
Nice job by Oliver, and you really got to give him credit selling that fake, JC. You see a lot of quarterbacks on those fake reverses and fake handoffs kind of just stick it in and out. Look, he puts it in the gut and then pulls it out at the last second, fools the defense, and is able to pick up a nice gain running the football. So credit him on that play fake.
Jimmy Oliver, a very athletic quarterback you're seeing here early on for Jackson State. And really, when you talk about some of the transfers they got in, and there you see, and right now playing out at receiver, they really got a lot of nice athletes to come into Jackson State. And this time it's going to be Simpson who lined up as the quarterback, but Alabama State was ready. A 1-yard gain, and that'll bring up a 3rd down opportunity, 3rd and 3. But if you ask the coach if this is the situation you want to be in all night, this is exactly where you want to be.
Yes, JC, and you talk about them spreading it out, and talking to Coach Komaji this week, he says we want to spread them out. That's something he wants to do. 3, 4 wide receiver sets, really keep the defense on their heels, not be predictable. So look for them to do a lot more of that, spreading the football out. It's a multiple set offense, and they want to keep that defense guessing.
There you see Rick Komaji. The ball sitting in midfield. Now tossed back and a nice block, and Eric Haw is going to get inside the 45 and down to the 44, and this drive will continue. And right now, Jackson State starting to flex their muscles on the ground.
Nice run by Haw here, getting outside. They have him listed at 6'1". I don't know if he's quite 6'1", but he is fast and he is strong. There you see him with the stiff arm, getting to the outside. There really wasn't anything there. He was one-on-one and kind of just makes a nice move, getting back to the outside. You'd like to see running backs get out in space. That's where running backs, especially running backs that aren't maybe the big bruising backs, run the ball best when they're out in space.
Now the handoff again to Eric Haw, and he's the second back through, and he gets maybe 2. Now this is a rivalry you said is starting to brew, but 1 year ago it was all Alabama State as they beat Jackson State 44-23. But this is an interesting situation because we said off the top of the show that each and every year Alabama State will invite a SWAC opponent to here in Mobile for the Gulf Coast Classic. So Jackson State took this opportunity very, very seriously.
Yes, and they want to come in and really prove themselves. You don't know when they're going to get another opportunity to come in here, being that a different team is invited. So a great atmosphere. They brought a lot of fans, a lot of support, and they want to come out and press and obviously win the ball game.
Second down and a handoff, and hitting the backfield. And nowhere to run is Haw again, and maybe going to the well one too many times as Alabama State was all over that one. A loss of 4 and another 3rd down and long for the Tigers.
You know, a part of me is surprised in the play call. You have 2nd and about 10. You look for them to spread the ball out, but with all the pressure coming on Jimmy Oliver, you don't know if he's going to have that time, and Coach Komaji knows that. With all the blitzes and all the stunts they're bringing up front, he's trying to be safe, trying to be conservative in giving his ball to his running back.
Well, if you look at the numbers on the year, Jimmy Oliver not exactly lighting up the night, so to speak, when it comes to passing, only 118 yards per game. And now bringing everybody. He's got a man open out there, a nice passing catch, and an even nicer tackle to keep the receiver from getting the 1st down, but inside the 40 and tackled at the 38. Jabbar Johnson on the catch for Jackson State. It'll bring up a 4th down and 5, and the first big decision for Jackson State.
And an impressive play by Oliver here, throwing against his body. Again, with all that pressure, having to get out of the pocket, it's hard to get that shoulder turn as a quarterback and throw against your body and make an accurate pass. He does that, unfortunately, not enough for the 1st down.
That'll be 4th down and 5, so Jackson State will punt the football, and Alabama State has put nobody back to receive, thinking maybe they smell a fake. The fake did not come. A nice spiral, landing at the 1, goes sideways and in to the end zone. So Jackson State, a nice drive, but it does stall. Alabama State will get their second chance when we come back. Welcome back. Alabama State leads it by 3. HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy. And folks, Football Nation Saturday coverage extends into Sunday to bring you a high-octane 1AA showdown. Tune in at 2 Eastern to check out what transpired when Maine traveled to Towson to take on Sean Schaefer and the Tigers. Relive the action from this A-10 battle tomorrow at 2 Eastern right here on CSTV. Nothing else I'd rather do on a Sunday afternoon, Chris, than right here on CSTV. We'll be traveling, but you want to tune in. Alabama State takes over at their own 20 after the touchback. There you see the total yards so far. Jackson State 40-47, but Alabama State leads on the scoreboard. And now being rocked from behind, the ball's on the ground, fumble, and I believe that Alabama State was able to recover. Chepio Woods just held onto the ball way too long that time.
And that's really where you see the inexperience of the young quarterback. You'd like to see him throw it away or even tuck it and try to pick up some yards. But you have to have that clock in your head as a quarterback that, hey, I've got to get out of here and do something. You see, that's really a coverage sack there where he can't find an open receiver. Can't really blame that on the offensive line. And like you said, J.C. Woods got to do something with that ball. Cannot hold on to it that long.
Number 13, John Archie made the hit, caused the fumble, but Alabama stayed lucky to recover. So second down and 14. They hand off to the second back through. That'll be Jay Peck. And he is stacked up just past the line of scrimmage. So Jackson State now hoping, obviously, for a 3-and-out to get the ball right back.
And if they do get that, they most likely will have good field position. They've got the Hornets pinned in their own territory here. If they can force a turnover or at worst let them punt the ball, look for them to have good field position for their offense.
When you look at Alabama State this year, only averaging about 19 points a game. On the flip side, Jackson State averaging 33 points a game. So Alabama State likes to play it low scoring and close to the cuff. Now third down and long. Woods has a man open on the outside, the near side to us, but a little bit ahead of his receiver, incomplete. And now a fourth down punt opportunity.
Again, talking about Woods and the accuracy, placement of a pass. He does a good job making a read, taking what the defense gives him, but look at the pass. It's behind his receiver rather than at the outside shoulder where he can catch it and roll up the sideline with that momentum. He's got to settle down, just be a little more accurate on his passes and help out his receivers.
Well, Anthony Johnson back to punt for Alabama State as the whistles blow. Flags on the play. What a shock. 3:03 remains here in this first quarter.
Substitution. Number 21 on the defense. 5 yards penalty. Repeat. Fourth down.
So after the 5-yard penalty, it will still remain fourth down for the Hornets. Jamar Johnson, number 83, is back to receive the punt. He's standing at his own 32-yard line. Anthony Johnson does all the kicking duties for the Hornets. Snap is good. A high spiraling kick coming down to Johnson. He's not going to get anywhere near it. It takes a bounce and a Jackson State bounce up past the 40. It'll be down at the 42. So very good field position for the Tigers. And Jimmy Oliver, as 2:40 remains here in this first quarter. And Chepio Woods obviously getting the start for Alex Ingram here tonight. And in the first 2 series, he has not looked comfortable whatsoever.
Yes, like I said, JC, he's really just got to settle down, really come to his own, get used to the environment around him, and just give his receivers the ball. That's what you like to see, an inexperienced quarterback, a young quarterback. Just give your playmakers the ball. Let them make you look good. But right now, he's just not accurate, and they're not having a chance to catch his passes.
So first down and 10 from their own 42 for Jackson State. A lone running back in the backfield. And he will get it. That's Eric Haw over the left side. Stacked up again, and there has not been a whole lot of running room here early on for either side, but especially Eric Haw, who on the year, 7 rushing touchdowns and 1 touchdown through the air.
Here you take a look at Oliver. Almost doesn't make it out from under center, and that's where you like to teach your quarterbacks. I like to tell my quarterbacks, explode from center, get out of there. There he kind of takes his time, gets stepped on by one of his linemen. You've got to remember that you've got pulling guards, you have linemen moving, and they're not going to look out for the quarterback, so you've got to get out of there quick if you're a quarterback.
Clock continues to run under 2 minutes now. 2nd down and 7 for Jackson State, and Jimmy Oliver back to pass. He's got him in wide open. Plenty of room on the outside. Completed. Breaks the tackle inside the 45, down to about the 43. That's completed to number 18, Christopher Johnson. And right now, Alabama State, if they can just get the passes going, plenty of room on the outside.
And this is what you like to see in a receiver. Look, just a nice hitch pass. Give him a little move right there, make the defender miss, pick up the first down. Nice job by Johnson, getting the ball from his quarterback and then making a nice move, picking up his first down. That's something you love to see if you're a quarterback, when you can just give your receiver the ball and he fights to get you those yards.
A good first down play now inside of Alabama State territory once again for Jackson State. Jimmy Oliver, he's got 2 wide receivers to the near side. And a lateral back to Johnson. Plenty of room again. He carries it inside the 40, stays on his feet. This time he's down the right sideline to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jackson State. A couple of broken tackles, and the speed took over, and just like that, Jackson State is on the board.
What I say, JC, you love it when you can give your receiver the ball. Trust me, Chris Johnson is Jimmy Oliver's best friend right now. Takes one step back, just gives it to his receiver on a little bubble pass, makes a move there, breaks a tackle, gets to the outside where there's no defender, and then it's just all-out speed there down the sideline, getting in the end zone. Got to give credit there to the junior wide receiver in Johnson.
The touchdown throw and catch, good for 43 yards unofficially. And now the extra point for Jackson State. Bad snap, rolled back to the holder, and the ball is still on the ground, still going. And what an ugly play from start to finish. And after a beautiful touchdown throw and catch and run, the extra point is no good.
You can't underestimate special teams. They work on this in practice all week. There's a period just where it's PAT and field goals, and you've got to get that snap there. Drop the ball there on the special teams, results in a point, and in a ball game like this, that may be the difference. You never know. So you've got to take advantage of those when you get a big score, to take advantage of that extra point.
And we talked about these two teams are very, very evenly matched, and you're right, 1 point could be the difference later on in the game. Let's take a look at it again at that touchdown. What a beautiful play by Johnson.
Yeah, and it doesn't get much easier than this if you're a quarterback. Just take one step back. Let me just give it to my receiver and see what he can do. And again, Johnson just making plays, and playmakers make plays in big games. This is a big game for Jackson State, and Chris Johnson showed right there that he's a big-time player.
You know, it's amazing to me. I did a game last year at Jackson State a couple of weeks before the end of the season, Chris, and really the attitudes were bad. The coaches had already been let go, and they had an interim coaching staff, and it's been amazing to me dealing with the Jackson State squad this week, and what a different attitude that everybody has from top to bottom.
Yes, and like we said, it all starts at the top with the coaches, and Coach Komaji, again, has done a very good job really filtering throughout this program and throughout his players, believing in themselves, believing in their ability, and it all starts with a mindset. He has changed the mindset here at Jackson State.
And there's the starting quarterback, Alex Ingram, for Alabama State, kind of giving a pep talk to his offense on the sideline. He is out injured tonight with that injured rotator cuff shoulder injury. So, but still mentally into the game. Well, now kickoff with a 6-3 lead by Jackson State. And it's taken up past the 20. And that's where it'll be stacked up there. And that's where Alabama State will take over with 43 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. A very entertaining first quarter, to say the least.
Yeah, and a lot of hard hits down there. I don't know if you can see down there, JC, but a lot of guys, even after the play is over, coming in, getting some late hits. You see some elbows and some punches going down there. So a very physical ball game with both of these teams being physical ball clubs.
Well, I know that's the way you like football to be. Physical, hitting.
Just as long as I'm
hard. No, well, we know that. we don't want your hair to get out of place now.
Hey, at least I have hair.
Well, that's true. That's true. Here we go. The clock does start on chains up possession. 6-3. The Tigers on top as we approach the end of the first quarter. Handoff to Peck. A nice hole as he gets up past the 25 to about the 28, and that, in all likelihood, will be the last play of this first quarter. Jay Peck with 3 straight 100-yard games. Alabama State 2-3 on the year and 2-2 in conference play. So they desperately need a win tonight if they have any hopes of a conference title this year. Well, that is the end of the first quarter. A very entertaining first quarter. The Bands are alive. Jackson State's offense is recently alive, and we head to the second. Jackson State on top by 3.
At Churches, we believe that greatness begins with passion and commitment. We proudly support the students and communities of historically black colleges and universities. Churches.
Well, welcome back to HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy. The Gulf Coast Classic. We are live in Mobile, Alabama. Jackson State up by 3 as we start the second quarter alongside Chris Ricks. I am Jonathan Coachman. The lone touchdown, a 43-yard pass play to Chris Johnson for Jackson State. And they lead at 6-3. The extra point was missed. So we start second down and 5 for Alabama State and DeChepio Woods. T-Woods, we call him, for Alabama State and the Hornets. And a handoff to the lone back through. That's Jay Peck, nearly broke a tackle. He lunges up to the 29, and it's just enough for a first down. That indeed will be a first down. And folks, Aflac is the proud sponsor of the 1st and 10 line for tonight's game. Certainly appreciate Aflac being a part of the broadcast here tonight. So first down and 10 at the 29 of Alabama State. A little breathing room now for the Hornets. I formation and a handoff to the second back through. That is Peck. And he lunges his way, kind of gets his way out of the crowd and lunges up to the 40 and somehow gets 6 yards out of that.
And I think Coach Coe for Alabama State really sees that his young quarterback, DeChepio Woods, is not comfortable yet. You see them still handing the ball off to Peck, going to him pretty much every time. Very predictable for this offense right now. Woods is going to have to get comfortable, and they're going to have to start throwing the ball if they're going to have the chance to put points on the board.
You know, they said that Jay Peck was a workhorse. Well, this is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, can't give him the ball every play.
Not every single time. Now DeChepio Woods under center, second down and 4, and maybe we're wrong. But the handoff again to Peck, and again stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. And you've got to believe that Alabama State right now needs to get a first down because their defense in the first quarter was on the field a lot.
Yes, and Jackson State really starting to get some momentum on the other sideline, so they've got to really negate that and stay even as far as the energy and as far as that momentum and get at least a field goal on this drive. Otherwise, they could be down a lot of points going into the rest of the second quarter.
T. Woods now 3rd down and 4. We'll see if Coach Coe allows him to open it up a little bit. Back to pass. He's got him in over the middle. This time batted down at the line of scrimmage. He threw it right into one of the defensive players. And again, Jackson State defense rises up.
And neither one of these Hornet quarterbacks very tall. We talk about Alice Ingram. He's 5'10". DeChepio Woods is also 5'10". So your defensive line coach, you're telling your guys, get your hands up, get your hands in the quarterback's face. Being that he's not very tall, can't see over that line. And as a result, they're able to block that pass.
Jamar Johnson back at his own 15. Nearly blocked was the punt. It comes down. Jamar Johnson gets away from it. A huge Jackson State bounce backwards. And it'll be down at the 37. So good field position. We'll see if Jimmy Oliver can get it done again. We're early in the second. We're back. Jackson State leads it by 3. And so far, Chris, it's been that man right there, Mr. Johnson, getting it done for Jackson State.
Yeah, he's really been there for his quarterback, Jimmy Oliver, just giving him the football. Jimmy Oliver's done a good job as far as just distributing it, letting his playmakers make plays. And right now, Chris Johnson is his biggest playmaker. We've seen these may look like highlights from a whole game. This is really just from the first quarter. Chris Johnson is the go-to guy right now. Look for Oliver to keep going to number 18.
So far, Jimmy Oliver has 102 yards passing on the night. We're only early here in the second quarter, and he can thank Christopher Johnson for many of those yards what do they call it, yak, yards after the catch?
Yes, sir.
Well, here we go. First down and 10 for Jimmy Oliver and the Jackson State offense. I formation. They lead it by 3 early here in this second quarter. Eric Haw is the deep man. Running the option. They pitch it back to Haw. Good pursuit by the Alabama State defense, allowing Eric Haw. Looked like there's a little bit of room there, but it shut down very quickly.
Yes, and we see Jimmy Oliver making a check, making the audible at the line of scrimmage. Maybe not the best result as far as getting yards in the play, but talking to Coach Komegy, he says that Oliver is really becoming a team leader, really developing into a leader, and that's tough to do as a transfer when you're not comfortable with the guys, when you don't know the guys as well as maybe you knew your ex-teammates. But Coach Komegy said he's really becoming our leader, not just on offense, but on the defense, the whole football team as a whole.
Good pursuit that time by number 98, Noel Alfonso from Tallahassee, Florida. Now Oliver back to pass. And gets rushed from behind and nearly makes a spectacular play out of it. He was getting rushed from all different sides, eluded a couple of tacklers, and avoided a big loss and nearly made it into a gain.
A very confident play by Oliver, but also a very risky play. Thought he was going to tuck it and maybe run. He's got that ball out. If he gets hit from behind or someone just nudges him, that ball could come out very easily right there. Does a good job getting rid of it, just not enough on that ball to get it to his playmaker.
All kinds of pressure on Oliver that time. So third down and 10. And there have been so far in this game a lot of third down plays on both sides of the ball. And it's been Jackson State that has been able to capitalize on a couple of third downs.
And now we see the Tiger offense really spreading out. We see 4 wide receivers.
Now Oliver back to pass, bringing a couple of different guys. And this time the miscommunication. He thought his receiver was going to go to the outside. The receiver went to the inside. And that pass falls incomplete. And fourth down.
Like you said, JC, some miscommunication there between the quarterback and receiver. Number 83, Jamar Johnson, ran kind of a skinny post or a slant. Looked like Oliver was expecting him to run an out route or maybe a corner. Wasn't a receiver really even close to that football, so definitely a miscommunication there.
Coach's son back for the punt, Michael Coe, standing just inside of his own 25. Looks like Alabama State's going to bring the house, and they do, and nearly get to the punter, but he gets away a nice punt. Takes it to 22, cuts straight up the middle, and just is ridden down. Well, I thought he was ridden down, and breaks a couple of tackles, and it looks like the ball might be on the ground. Jackson State is saying they've got it. We'll see what the referees say. The officials still trying to make up their mind. They're saying the runner was down, so Alabama State will keep possession, but a very risky play. Alabama State, another chance. We are early in the second.
Can I get a little help around here?
Do you believe matching starter sweatshirts can help motivate your family? We do too.
I've never seen this place so clean.
Starter, believe in it, baby.
Sportsmanship and integrity.
Dedicated fans.
A commitment to excellence.
Historic rivalries.
Time-honored traditions.
Prominent institutions of higher learning.
A commitment to the community.
Courage and perseverance.
On the field.
And off the field achievements. Individually and collectively, we are the SWAC.
We are the SWAC.
We're back. Jackson State leads it by 3. There you see the starting quarterback, Alex Ingram, or the first-string quarterback, and they said there was a 99% chance he would not play tonight, but he's warming up on the sidelines, and I'll get your take on that in a minute, Rick. But right now, let's take a look at the Aflac trivia question here tonight, and this should be a gimme. What former Jackson State running back was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1993? Think about it. And in just a few minutes, we'll get back and give you the answer. But if you are a football fan and you don't get that one, shame on you.
It's a sweet question, JC. It's a sweet question.
Well,
that is the clue.
Well, right now, T. Woods is going to stay in at quarterback for Alabama State as they take over on their own 24. And the handoff to the Lone back through. And in for the first time tonight for Alabama State is Raymond Traylor. And he gets tackled in the backfield, so more of the same for the Alabama State offense.
We see the Hornets here going back to the running game. Woods handing the ball off to his running back. And talking to Coach Coe this week, they said obviously they're more confident in Ingram. He's the more seasoned quarterback. He's more mobile. So look to see if he gets in this ballgame. I would not be surprised if you see number 3 Ingram in to replace Woods.
And so far, John Archie on the defensive side for Jackson State has been a menace. So this time, Woods is going to keep the ball. A nice fake. You lose one tackler, gets up past the 30, and may have just enough for an Alabama State first down.
Sticking with the running game, just letting your quarterback run the ball.
Yeah. Well, and Woods showing some good feet right there, some good speed, and it is indeed enough for a Hornets first down.
Again, nice job by Woods here on that fake, holding that defensive end. That's what enables him to get outside. If he doesn't sell that fake, the defensive end stays home and makes the tackle. He sells it, is able to get outside, pick up a good amount of yards, and enough for the first down.
So first down and 10, out past the 30 for the Hornets. Man in motion. And Woods hands it off. This time he's going to keep it again. And he gets munched in the backfield. Nobody was over there, but he was out of the pocket. And Woods, after the fake, had just 4 guys right on top of him.
And that's not something you like to see as an offense or as a coaching staff, seeing your quarterback take those kind of hits. He throws the ball away, a nice decision, but pays the price after getting hit by 2 Jackson State Tiger defenders.
Well, it's not something you want to see, and I guarantee you for T. Woods, it's not something you want to feel.
No, sir. No, sir. I know how it feels, JC. When you get hit in the mouth by 2 defenders after you throw the ball away, definitely not a good feeling.
So second down and 10 for the Hornets. T. Woods, obviously a tough customer, getting up from that hit. He hands off to Peck, who hands it straight up the middle, keeps those feet going. And one thing I've noticed about Peck, he hits the line, and then he keeps churning. He's got a very, very strong lower body.
He does. Peck, not a lot of dancing. He hits the hole, like you said. And as a running back coach, that's something you like to see, is when he gets hit at first contact, that he just doesn't go down or stop, but he keeps pumping those legs. That's why you run through the bags. That's why you're in the weight room doing squats, doing the hack squats to build up those legs so you can keep on driving. Like you said, Jay Peck doing a very nice job doing it.
And because of the extensive running plays, the clock continues to run. A very rapidly moving first half. Third down and 8 for the Hornets. Woods back to pass, and he just gets rocked. He's got a man down there, and the flag probably will come out, and indeed it does. Intended for his wide receiver, Brandon Horace. That time Woods got rocked in the backfield, and clearly pass interference downfield at the 35.
Defended on the play by number 1, Carlton Brown. There's a flag on the play.
Nice job by Woods, staying tall in the pocket. We saw the hit. We'll take a look at it here again. The hit he takes, but he gives his receiver a chance. He gives Brandon Horace a chance to catch this football. As soon as he gets rid of it, takes a big hit and results in a pass interference. At least give him a chance. You'll get a good result most of the time.
Number 1 on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Well, Daniel Brooks was the man who made the hit on the quarterback. Carlton Brown was the man who was penalized, and probably a pretty good penalty, because that thing looked like it would be good for a touchdown if it would have been completed.
Yes, a good ball by Woods. Horace, a very talented senior wide receiver. If he doesn't make that pass interference, Horace probably comes up with that catch and is gone to the house.
So the ball is moved inside of Tiger territory. I formation for Woods, hands off to Peck, second back through, and he gets, again, 1, maybe 2 yards. They'll mark it down to the 46, but this is kind of old school. What do they say, 2 yards in a cloud of astro grass, I guess.
Not quite sure what you're trying to say there, JC.
Well, it's not a dust, but there's not really any dust out there.
This is a nice field. It's kept up nicely throughout the year, so we're not going to see a lot of dust, a lot of mud. These guys are liking playing on this field tonight.
Stay with me, Ricks. And now a timeout is called by T. Woods. But Alabama State is on the move, and they trail it by 3 on a beautiful night in Mobile at the Gulf Coast Classic. We're coming back. Hey. Welcome back to HBCU football, presented by the U.S. Navy. Jackson State leads it by 3, and now it's time for the answer to the trivia question. What former Jackson State Tiger running back was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 19 93. Chris Ricks, the answer is
sweetness.
Was there anybody better? Walter Payton, there you see his numbers at Jackson State, a phenomenal career from 71 through 1974, and obviously a stellar, one of the best careers of all time in the NFL.
66 touchdowns, not bad. Also 6.1 yards per carry. That's pretty impressive for any running back.
Certainly is, and obviously Walter Payton, who passed away a couple of years ago, welcomed or remembered very fondly down in these parts, certainly in the SWAC conference. So here we go, back to action. 8:54 remains here in the second quarter. 6-3 Jackson State on top. Second down and 10 from just inside of Jackson State territory. A nice pitch and catch out there inside the 35 down to about the 33. On the receiving end, Lorenzo Hoffman was the receiver, and Alabama State, other than their first drive, has their deepest penetration of the night.
Here we get a look at number 10, Lorenzo Slim Hoffman, running a nice little curl route, little choice route. And credit to Cheppio Woods, setting in that pocket, using that pocket around him. The protection was good up front, and giving the ball to his receiver. Nice job.
First down and 10 inside the 35 for the Hornets. T. Woods opening up the offense just a little bit more. Jay Peck grinds inside down to about the 29 and good for 5 yards on the first down. And really something we haven't seen tonight is Jay Peck on the outside. They really send him straight up the middle almost every single time.
Well, I think Coach Coe is starting to see that Peck isn't getting a lot going up. There's not a lot between the tackles. He's trying to get him outside the tackles. And, JC, you're talking about opening up the offense. I guarantee you Coach Coe would have liked to see Cheppio Woods get comfortable a little earlier, but we can see him now starting to get comfortable with that position, starting to throw the ball around. Look for them to start slinging it around a little more here in the second quarter.
We are just about halfway through the second quarter, and as quickly as you say that, Jay Peck stays on his feet, breaks a couple of tackles. He gets inside the 30 and good for an Alabama State first down as the chains move once more.
Nice hole for Jay Peck to hit. Got to credit that offensive line. They're staying with their blocks. And then Jay Peck just putting his shoulder down, getting through, not going down at first contact. That's something you really like to see in your running back when he's able to fight through tackles and pick up extra yards here, results in a first down.
Alabama State coming off a 38-20 loss to Southern their last time out, so certainly they need some positive mojo, so to speak, here tonight against Jackson State. And again, T. Woods doesn't like what he sees, calls a timeout. This would not be the part of the field where a mistake would be warranted at this juncture.
And you see Woods frustrated here, talking with his coaches. Coach is also frustrated. Obviously, some miscommunication there with the play call.
Obviously, today has been a busy day throughout college football. And, folks, he is one of the most colorful coaches in college football. He's loved by his fans, despised by his enemies. Tomorrow night, the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, sits down with our one-to-one crew to talk about SEC football, winning the Heisman, and how his disdain for retirement brought him back to the gridiron. It's all on one-to-one with Steve Spurrier. And that, I guarantee you, will be a can't-miss
program.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I just wanted, wanted you to finish.
I got your back, JC. I got your back.
Well, certainly, I can't wait to. Anytime Steve Spurrier, you get him to sit down for a 30-minute interview.
Yep.
Boy, it's going to be good.
Definitely the old ball coach.
If there's two guys that I would love to sit down and talk to, it would be Steve Spurrier and your old coach at Florida State, Bobby Bowden.
Those would be two good interviews, JC.
Maybe we can make that happen one day. We've got the ends of Florida State now.
Well, Amsinger just did one with Coach Bowden, so he's probably not going to give us another interview for a while.
Probably not. First down and 10. We're back to action. T. Woods hands it off to Peck. A nice surge by the offensive line. Gets him inside the 20 down to about the 17. And again, a good pickup on first down. This drive has had a lot of those.
Very impressed with the way the Alabama State offensive line is playing right now. They know they have a young, inexperienced quarterback, and believe me, their coaches have challenged them, telling them, hey, we're going to be giving the ball to Peck a lot, and we need you guys up front to open up those holes. Right now, they're stepping up and accepting that challenge.
And this Hornets offense continues to chew up clock, continues to, as the second quarter just winds down, keeping that Jackson State offense off the field. And again, Peck quickly through the left side, but the hole closes just as quick. He gets knocked down after maybe a yard gain, so now a very, very important third down gain. And right now, Alabama State, in my opinion, needs to get into the end zone for their confidence factor.
Yes, definitely. And keep a lookout for the personal fouls. I'm seeing a lot of jawing down there, a lot of guys after the play pushing each other, getting in each other's face. Let's see if they can be disciplined and avoid those personal foul penalties.
Third down and a long 4 for the Hornets. T. Woods maybe calling an audible at the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
He's got a man on the outside. Nice pitch and catch. And out of bounds at the 6, completed number 13, James Earl Cray. But the adjustments that T. Woods is starting to make shows, would you agree, the confidence he's starting to play with?
And Woods gets away with it here. Still not accurate behind his receiver, but Cray does a nice job turning back inside and making the catch. A nice adjustment on that one. Woods got away with an inaccurate pass.
So a big third down conversion makes it a first down and goal. The ball will be placed at the 7 of Jackson State. 6:01 remaining here in the second quarter. Alabama State knocking on the doorstep of the Tigers. And now the whistles blow. And the band, the Jackson State band, who is getting ready for halftime, actually is lined up beyond the end zone. And they are blocking the play clock. That's something new. But leave it to us to come up with something new each and every time out. And now the play clock is unblocked, and we're back to action. First down and goal at the 7.
And Techepia Woods looking at his receiver, Brandon Horace, staring him down. We'll see if they go to the air with that one-on-one coverage.
And instead, he tosses it back, and a nice play by the defense as they were trying to get around the far side. Raymond Traylor. And a beautiful tackle and a loss of about 3 yards on the play by Jackson State.
Well, here we see Alabama State just going with a nice toss sweep, trying to get the back out there with room to run. But a good job by that Tiger defense. Pursuit making the big play and a big stop here.
Number 41, Ken Woodard on the plate. There you see him right there. It'll bring up a second down and goal. The ball is back just outside the 10. 4 wide receivers for Alabama State.
Got to throw the ball.
There you go, T. Woods. He's got a man out there. We'll see if the flags fly. They do not. Just a bad misread by T. Woods. He was knocked down just as he released the ball.
And I think he wanted to hold on to that ball probably another split second, but because of that pressure, like you said, JC, he got hit right after he threw it. He had to get rid of that ball probably a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Looked like his receiver just wasn't ready for that pass at that time.
And I'm just now, as you see the numbers, 1 for 6 on the evening. Now you're starting to see, because we're so far up here, it's hard to see exactly what's going on down on the field. So but right now it looks like T. Woods from where we're sitting get very, very good pressure from Jackson State. So here we go, a big third down play back at the 10. Woods back to pass. He's got plenty of time, and it is incomplete. A little bit too far. If he would have led his receiver just right, that would have been a touchdown. But Jay Peck unable to bring it in on his feet, and that'll bring up a field goal situation.
Again, the thing Woods is struggling with right now is the accuracy. If he just dumps that off, there was no one out there for the Jackson State defense. All it was a couple linemen out there to block for him. If he can just come up with that catch, he would have walked into the end zone. And I guarantee you right now, Techepia Woods is frustrated because he knew he had an easy 6 on that play.
Now Anthony Johnson in for a 27-yard field goal try. It is up, and it is good. But there's got to be a sense of frustration and disappointment on the sidelines of Alabama State. A sure touchdown, but unable to make the connection from Woods to Peck. But nevertheless, they do make the field goal, and now we're tied. Just under 5 minutes to play. We're tied at 6.
Very nice play call. I like the play call from Alabama State. They just didn't execute it. And obviously, you know, JC, 50% is the play call, and the other 50% is actually the players executing the play right there. Techepia Woods and the offense couldn't get it done. Look for them to get another chance. Trust me, they'll come back to that screenplay.
As we approach halftime, don't forget that coming up at halftime, the Church's Chicken HBCU Battle of the Bands. That's always a can't miss. Can't miss, as both bands are here. Jackson State, Alabama State. You'll get to see both, and then at the end of halftime, you can vote on who you think wins the Battle of the Bands here tonight. And there you see a very disappointed and frustrated Jay Peck because he nearly had a touchdown on that last play.
Yes, and he knows it, and I guarantee you he's talking to Wood saying, hey, just give me a chance to catch that football, because he knows that was a touchdown.
There you see the scoring drive, 15 plays, 66 yards. It took up 6 minutes and 47 seconds, and it came away with just a field goal. And now the kickoff taken up past the 25, or past the 20, excuse me, and knocked down at the 21. That was number 11, L.D. Briscoe. So now Jimmy Oliver and the Jackson State offense with 4:33 remaining here in this second quarter, with a chance to try to get some more points on the board just before halftime. And Aflac is the proud sponsor of the 1st and 10 line for tonight's game.
Nice.
And before this night is over, I want you to do your Aflac impersonation. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Ricks is Mr. Impersonation Extraordinaire.
Stop it.
First down and 10, 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield alongside Jimmy Oliver. Handoff to Eric Hall. Follows his blockers up past the 24, knocked down at the 25. So a 3-yard gain on first down.
Eric Hall carries the ball for the Tigers.
And you know, we talked about Alabama State needing to keep this Jackson State offense off the field, averaging 33 points a game. That's exactly what the Hornets have been able to do, but they've been unable to get into the end zone.
Yes, and the Hornets aren't going to be as fortunate in the second half. I guarantee you Jackson State is going to come out, open it more in the second half, and put more points on the board. I'm surprised to see they only have 6 here in this first half.
Now Oliver, he's got a man out there, a nice grab made up at the 40. The grab made, what a shock by Christopher Johnson, who has had an excellent first half. That pass and catch good for a first down.
And Oliver has to elevate this ball to get it over the linebacker, but you see Chris Johnson go upstairs and just grab it out of there. Nice job. Again, he's such a playmaker. You see he has to elevate that ball to get it over the backer, but no problem for Johnson going up and grabbing it out of the sky.
Chains move, clock starts. 3:25 and counting here in the second quarter at the 40. Oliver, wide receiver screen to Chris Johnson, and nicely played by the Alabama State defense, and it looked like there was going to be a hole there. Closed quickly, only a gain of 1, and the clock continues to move.
Good pursuit there by the Hornet defense. We see Jackson State here just trying to get the ball to their playmakers. It's worked out for them very well here in this first half. Oliver giving the ball to Johnson, giving the ball to Simpson, his talented wide receivers, but there we see the pursuit of the Hornet defense. They know they're going to have to stop these big plays if they're going to contain this offense.
And this is something, the 2-minute offense, that Jackson State could not do a year ago. They didn't have it in their repertoire. But this year they have it. Their offense is good, can move, and this is a situation they feel very comfortable with. Pass is made, caught is made, and nice running into Alabama State territory. Carlos Simpson makes the catch. Nice run after the catch. Another first down, and the clock stops to move the chains.
And you've got to credit Simpson here as far as getting the ball, making some moves here. But if you're the Hornet defenders, that secondary, they've got to be more sure tacklers. You can see it takes 4 or 5 defenders just to bring Simpson down there. They've got to be more disciplined and wrap up if they're going to contain this offense.
Clock starts. Jackson State at the 43 of the Hornets. And a handoff. Catching Alabama State a little bit off guard, but a nice play in the open field by number 19. That's the coach's son, Michael Coe. And the clock runs after no gain.
Michael Coe, the transfer from Arkansas. Arkansas, big win today over Auburn, so big win for his ex-teammates.
There was a lot of big wins around the country. We'll talk about it throughout the second half. Florida, big win over LSU. So a lot of things are happening in the top 25. A lot of things are happening right here. Jimmy Oliver, he's got a man over the middle. Nice passing catch. This time again to Carlos Simpson. We'll see where they mark it. A good mark. And that's going to be good for another first down. And right now, Simpson and Johnson are getting it done as receivers for Jackson State.
Nice job by Simpson. Even though he's on the roll, he still goes through his progressions, and that's tough. You know, when you see a lot of quarterbacks rolling out, they like to look at their primary receiver. If he's not there, they like to tuck it and run. But Oliver still goes through his first, second progression, and hits his third progression, Carlos Simpson, for a first down.
Approaching a minute and a half to go. Oliver calls his own number, still on his feet, remains on his feet, ducks down to about the 25, and good for 5 yards on first down. So right now, Jackson State doing exactly what they want to do, chewing up the clock, but also moving down the field.
And Oliver avoided a very big hit there. There was a defender coming in for Alabama State, had a tee shot on him, was coming in with his head down. but fortunately for Oliver, he got down and avoided that hit.
And Jimmy Oliver showing a lot of patience and a lot of maturity here on this drive, realizing there's a lot of time left. Jackson State still has all 3 of their timeouts left to play with as well. Oliver, he's got a man over the middle. Oh, just a little bit too tall. And the flag does come in from the back judge. That pass was intended for Simpson. Nearly made a spectacular catch.
Not something you like to see, a ball high over the middle. But at least Oliver gave Simpson a chance to catch it and results in most likely a pass interference. See here, Oliver, quick 3-step drop, throws it over the middle. Simpson goes up, tries to catch it. Little contact there before it. The referees catch it, throw the flag for the interference.
So the ball will be placed inside of the 20. And Jackson State, you would have to say, Chris, they desperately want a touchdown heading into halftime, as Alabama State will get the ball to start the second half.
Pass interference on the defense, number 24, at the spot 5. Ball replaced at the spot out of 5. Automatic first down.
And on the flip side, JC, you get a shot there of head coach Charles Coe. He doesn't want to let them score. He doesn't agree with that play call. He wants his defense to hold them not to just 6, but not even let them get a field goal here in this situation.
Now Oliver is assessing the situation. He sees he's got one-on-one coverage on both sides. Now Oliver, he's going to keep it. He's got a man out there. He's got a man in the end zone. It's completed for a touchdown. Oliver to Johnson. Touchdown Jackson State, and you can see it developing from the line of scrimmage, one-on-one coverage, and now we're still waiting to see, and it's a touchdown indeed. And boy, that Oliver to Johnson combination has been stellar in this first half.
Well, it all starts here with Jimmy Oliver. A nice play action, half roll, bootleg, gives his receiver a chance. He's got one-on-one with Johnson out there. Not sure who actually came in with the ball. They're fighting for it there. Very tough call for the referees. You'd like to see if maybe you can have a review here if you're an Alabama State Hornet fan, but a good job by Johnson fighting for that ball and getting the touchdown.
Well, I think that's what they're arguing right there, but obviously a tie goes to the runner or goes to the offensive receiver. And in this situation, it was Chris Johnson. A great catch, a great throw, and now going for a 2-point conversion, and the ball is picked up, and we're going the other way. Remember, in college, you can take it back for 2 points to the 50, down to the 40. It looks like he's going to get caught. That's Coe, and he gets written out at the 20. So I don't know if that was supposed to be a fake or it just was a bad snap, but it was a lot of fun nevertheless.
Looked like it was supposed to be a fake, a pass by the holder, but nonetheless a very poorly executed fake.
Well, Coe may have been a little bit tired from the last play, and
I thought he was going to break away with that. I thought he was gone to the crib.
Too, but let's take a look at it one more time. Yeah,
you see the fake here, just drops the ball, isn't able to get it. He tries to shovel it to the kicker. Looks like they're going to do either a nice run to the right side or even a pass. But again, drops the ball, Coe picks it up. Again, JC, I thought he was to the crib on this one, but didn't have the breakaway speed to score.
Well, Kristen, tell me, why would you want to run a 2-point conversion fake right there when you're already up 6? It makes it an even 7. And I know you may, I just don't get it right there.
Yeah, and if Alabama State did have 7, yes, you'd like to get to 14 because if they score, make the extra point. Obviously, it's tied up at 14. But when Alabama State has 6, I agree with you, JC. I do not see the logic behind that play call. Kick the extra point, go up 7 into half.
There you see the scoring drive, 9 plays, 79 yards, and a very efficient, quickly moving drive for Jackson State and Jimmy Oliver. Took up less than 4 minutes, and the touchdown good for 15 yards. Oliver to Johnson. Johnson's second touchdown of this first half, and needless to say, he has been better than advertised here tonight. Now the kickoff, end over end. The clock starts, comes down to the 10. And up the middle now, and good coverage by Jackson State, taking down number 23, Craig Freeman, who is one of the upbacks. So Alabama State and T. Woods will take over at the 22, and you would think with only one timeout remaining, Chris, and the clock's starting on change of possession, then probably Alabama State will just let the clock run out, go into halftime, and be happy down 6 at this point.
Yes, and that's most likely what you'll see. Maybe if you have a more experienced quarterback, you try to go to the 1 or 2 minute offense here, even though you only have 30 seconds. Maybe try to get in field goal range and pick up 3. But with the young, inexperienced quarterback into Chepio Woods, expect Charles Coe and his coaching staff to really sit on it, not risk a big turnover down in their own territory.
Well, maybe not. T. Woods has got a man over there, and he does complete it up to the 30. And up until that play, only 20 passing yards here in this first quarter. And the clock's inside of 10.
Not enough time.
I believe that's going to do it. And indeed, that was going to be the last play of this first half. A very entertaining Gulf Coast Classic thus far. And Jackson State, 2 touchdown passes. Oliver to Johnson gives him a 6-point halftime lead. And we come back, Church's Chicken, Battle of the Bands. We're at halftime in Mobile.
Can we get some church?
The rhythm, the pulse of football nation. There's one place to find it all.
Making a couple of tackles, making more now.
Get the total experience of HBCU football all season long on CSTV.
Are you kidding me?
Thursday, November 23rd at 2:30, Tuskegee takes on Alabama State in the Turkey Day Classic. Watch HBCU football presented by the U.S. Navy. Football is a way of life. Live it with CSTV.
College.
We're back, Mobile, Alabama. Jackson State leads it by 6. It's time for the Church's Chicken Battle of Bands. Let's send it down to the field for Jackson State. Enjoy, everybody. That's the Jackson State Marching Band. When we come back, Alabama State will take the field. It's the Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. We're at halftime in Mobile. Welcome back to halftime. Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. We've seen Jackson State. Now let's see what Alabama State has. Back to the field. That's the Alabama State marching band, the Church's Chicken Battle of the Bands. We're at halftime. Jackson State leads it by 6. Halftime continues when we come back.